Yeah, I'll go through. Okay, so if you want to follow along, just start a new template. Oh, sorry, a new project. So what you do is you just go into architectural template. Click on that, and then you get this. You should get this this sheet here. I've updated my Revit so it has the new Dan-edu template set up. So if you have anything in this project, it should show a 3D view at the top here. And of course, you can type in all the details to do with your project down here as well, which will then copy itself across the entire project. So you never have to do it more than once. So first thing, I'm going to open up level 1. And I'm going to open up a 3D view as well. I can either do that over here under 3D views, or I can use the shortcut at the top here where it shows the little isometric of the house there. So this button and this button do exactly the same thing. So there's a 3D view. Of course, there's nothing in it. Then I'm going to press WT, which then tiles all the windows that I have open at the same time on the screen there. And since I don't need to work on this sheet, I'm going to shut that down. Then I'm going to press WT again. So now I've got the 3D view here, and I've got the level 1 view over here. Okay? We can delete this text because it's just there as a guideline. The other thing I want to show you, just very quickly, I'm going to open up Elevation 1 as well. So Elevation 1. And here in Elevation 1, you can see it has these 3 levels set up. It's got level 1, level 2, and then it's got this roof level, which it's got dotted as a different type of. It's only a reference line actually. These are key to when you're designing stairs. These are key when you're designing stairs because these levels, they always mean the top level of the floor. So it's the top of the surface of the floor. If you've got a floor that's made up of wood and some kind of sound insulation layer, and then some kind of timber layer on top of that, all that is underneath this level 1. So you're always going from the top of the floor to the top of the floor, and that's a key thing to remember, because if you don't figure that out, your stairs are going to go a little bit strange. So that's one of those things. At the moment, the levels are set to 3.2, but again, we can change the levels at any time we want simply by clicking on them, and we can either drag them up and down, or we can select the text here and just type in the level. Let's say we want it to be at 2750, which is a kind of a brick dimension. Huh? I'll come back to you. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to start by drawing some floors in, and then I'm going to just show you a little trick as to how to deal with it. So first thing I'm going to do is take a wall. I'm going to use this rectangle, and I'm just going to draw more or less a shape of a house. I'm not too concerned as to the dimensions yet, so I'm just going to draw a shape of a house. And you can see it turns up also in 3D view here. Let's just turn on some shading so you can see that a little bit better. If I want to modify it afterwards, if I say, okay, I actually want this to be exactly 8 meters inner dimension to inner dimension, I can select the element I want to move, and then I can select this temporary dimension that turns up, and I can type in here 8 meters, and it will shift it exactly to 8 meters. So it's always the element you want to move, and then you can shift it. Let's say we want to change that to 9 meters. So you always have control over the dimensions of everything. I can also see that I drew the walls inside out. So if I select one of these walls, like this arrow here, this shows that the wall is flipped. So if I was to put different layers on the wall, the outside would actually be inside the house here. So we have to flip it as well. So always when you're flipping a wall, make sure that the location line of the wall is set to wall center line. You can see that over here, wall center line. The reason for that is if I select this and I flip it, it doesn't move anywhere, it just flips. Whereas if I select this, and let's say the location line of the wall was set to finish face exterior, you can see the dots have now moved to the exterior. If I flip it, it's actually going to change the position of the wall because it's flipping around the finish face, okay? So before you flip anything, make sure that it's always set to wall center line. So that means it's not going to change the dimensions of the rooms that are within there, okay? So let's see, did I move that or not? Yeah, I did move it, so let's move that back to 9,000. And now I can go around and I can flip them like this, or you can leave the cursor on top of one of the walls, press the tab button, which selects all the connected walls, click, and then you can play with it as one thing. So anyway, this is just to set up some floors, so we have a stairs going on there. So I'm going to go into architecture. I'm going to put in a floor, an architectural floor, and I'm going to use this pick lines tool. So I'm going to pick lines, and I want to start the floor inside the house like that, and you can see it turns up in the 3D view as well where it is, and that's fine. So I'm going to accept that, and now we've got a floor at the ground level of the house in there. The floor is just a it's called a 160 concrete with 50mm metal deck. Okay, I thought I was going to put in the standard floor, so I'm just going to change that to generic interior. Everybody with me? Okay, now this is a little trick to effectivize your work, is that if you've already done one floor, and let's say you have a 3-story house, we can select the floor. I'm going to use the tab button here. I'm going to leave the cursor over the line of where the edge of the floor is. I'm going to press tab until in the bottom right, or sorry, in the bottom left down here, if I do that again and watch the bottom left of the screen, it's telling me what I've selected. So at the bottom left here, it's going floor generic. So I know it's going to select the floor here rather than the walls. Then I can select it. Once I select it, I can press this little copy tool, copy to clipboard, and now I can select paste align to selected levels. So I can actually copy as many of these floors as the number of levels I have if I want. So I can say align to selected levels, and at the moment we've got level 2 and we've got roof. I'm not going to put it on the roof level, I'm just going to put it at level 2, press OK, and now it's copied the floor, so we have a floor on 2 levels now. Does that make sense? I'm just going to draw a section here so you can see what I'm talking about. So view, go in here, section, go cross section through, and then open up a new section. And you can see here we have a cross section through the house itself. So a cross section is just a cut through the house. So we've got the walls here. You can see they're sitting on level 1, and you can see the floors I've created. The top level of the floor, the top layer, is always at the level. It's not above the level, it's always at the level. So when you're drawing a stairs, you're always going from the top level to the top level. Sometimes people think they have to be clever and they give it an offset. So let's say if we offset this by 300 millimeters and apply it. The floor is now 300 millimeters above the top level. And that seems like it works fine, but then if you try and design a stairs, the stairs is going to stop here. So you still have 300 millimeters to get up to the next level. So always make sure that your floors are at 0 offset, which means they're directly on the correct level. Everybody with me? Alright. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make another level here. So I'm going to select level 2, and I'm just going to copy it. And I'm going to use level 1 as a control, which means when I copy it up and select level 2 again, it's going to copy exactly the same distance. Is everybody with me there? So I want to get another level, level 3, but I want it to be exactly the same distance that level 1 and level 2 are from each other. So if I press the copy button here, then I can use the distance between these 2 levels as a guide to make the next level. So I've pressed copy, so I know this is going to copy. So now it asks me at the bottom, click to enter move start point. So I'm going to say, well, we're going to move it from here, and we're going to move it up to here. So we've used the existing dimensions of the existing level to create the dimensions of the new level. And of course, we can go in here and say, give it a name. So I'm going to call this second floor plan, first floor plan, and ground floor plan. It's always nice to give your levels names that are related to human beings. Level 1, level 2, level 3. That's great if you're an engineer or whatever. But usually you have to show this stuff to clients that maybe are not so used to construction drawings. So certainly at the concept stage, you give it a name that that people can recognize, and it's simple enough to just click on that. Whoops, I said it's simple enough, then I switched it off. To click on the text, click on it again, and then you can edit it. Same way you edit the height here. Click on it, then I can change it to whatever I want, and it will move to the level that I want it to. Just gonna pause that. Okay, so the whole reason to make this this house is just to start making stairs. So so WT again. Hello. WT again. I'm back in the ground floor plan, which you probably have called level 1, or you might have changed the name of it or whatever. You can always change the name of your plans over here in the project browser as well. If you right click on one of the drawings, you can always press rename and call it whatever you want, and we'll automatically update the views of the levels, the names of the drawings, the names on the drawing sheets. Everything will be updated by doing that as well. So you can always control the names of your stuff over here as well. Okay, so stairs. Now, anytime you want to make a building element, a constructional element within the project that's something overall like a window, a wall, a floor, it's always the architecture tab. So in here we also have an option for stairs. So under stairs we have two options. The first one is stair by component, and the second one is stair by sketch. Do not touch stair by component. It's illegal for the first semester. It's just too complicated, and it causes too many problems. Stair by component is usually it's used to make it more effective for building large office buildings or apartment buildings or anything that requires a lot of repetition and prefabrication. Stair by component can be useful. But for a house, stair by sketch is much more flexible because it allows us to play with the shape of the stairs any way we want. So I'm going to select stair by sketch. Once I do that, I get these draw options up here. Now, instead of it being lines, we have the first option is run. I'll just finish this first and I'll come over to it. Okay, so a run is effectively a flight of stairs. So just outside the door here, just outside the glass door here, you've got a run that goes up to a landing and then another run that goes up again. So in English, that would be a flight of stairs. In American English, I suppose it must be a run of stairs, but well, let's use it anyway. So run. If I then click a start point for my stairs here, you can see that Revit has calculated the length of the stairs based on the height that it has to traverse, and that has to do with the calculation rules, which we'll get into later. But it's also giving us, you can just about see it here, 8 risers created, 10 remaining. So it's telling us how many risers, how many actual steps are required according to calculation rules to get the stairs in. So I'm just going to make, to start off with, I'm just going to make a straight stairs, and I'll do that just by drawing beyond the edge of where Revit is calculating the stairs should be. It's telling us it has to be 4.48 meters long. I'm going to select it, click, And it's telling us it's created 17 risers and 0 risers are remaining. So we have a stairs that's going to go from ground level to top level. Here you can see there are some green lines which are on the outside of the stairs, and then we have some black lines which are the individual steps. I'm going to go into later what these mean, but these are actually adjustable. These the green lines are the boundaries, and you can see they actually have a button related to them up here. And the black lines are the risers. So first of all, let's just accept that stairs. So I accept it. And it's drawn it in the plan view here, but it's also drawn it in the 3D view here, even though we can't see it. Let's turn on the section box so we can take a slice through the building to have a look at it. Huh? Yeah, I was just doing that to impress you, so I've got to do it again. So if you ever want to take a slice through your building model, go to the view you want to take a slice through, come over down here to where it says extents, and there's an option for section box. If I select that on, we get this little dotted line cube around the building, which we can then stretch around until we get a cut through the building so we can see what we want to look at. So you can see that we have a stairs in here, a monolithic stairs. So we have a stairs in here. The only thing is we don't have a hole in the floor to so the stairs can go through. So that's the next thing we need to do. So I'm going to go back to the ground floor plan here. And under the architecture tab at the top, we have a couple of opening options. And these are all for different things. But the one we're interested in for stairs is one called shaft opening, because this allows us to make a hole through our entire building for whatever height that we need it to be, that we can then adjust afterwards. So I'm going to make a shaft opening. Again, we get all the little sketching tools. We also get where we want to start it. We're going to start it at ground floor plan, and let's finish it at roof. So let's now just draw a rectangle, or you can pick lines. Let's just draw a rectangle. I'm going to draw a rectangle from where I think the stairs is going to end to maybe 3 steps or 4 steps into it over here. If I accept that, you can see it creates this blue opening. If I click away from it, it disappears. But it's in there. If I run the cursor over it, you can see there's actually an object in here that is an opening that we can adjust. So we can always come back and find the opening and edit the shape of it. If we wanted to make it, what do we want to do with it? Let's say we wanted to add some curves to it or something, for some reason. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but just to show you that it's completely flexible in terms of, the shape that we'll use start, end, radius, arc. Just put it this end. Start, end. Right there. Delete the inner one. And if we accept it, you can see that the shape of the shaft, the shape of the opening of the floor has been changed. So you can always come back to the shaft and you can modify by editing the sketch as to what shape you want to make an opening through your floors. At the moment, it's only going through one floor, but you can continue the shaft. You could always make it go through as many floors as you have. If you have a skyscraper, you can continue the shaft all the way up through the skyscraper, because in an office building, many of the floors tend to be repeats of each other, especially around the service core where the stairs and the lifts and the toilets and so forth are. So you could just, in one move, you can create an opening through an entire building, 10 stories, 20 stories high, or whatever, using this shaft tool. So now we have the stairs, we have an opening, so it looks like it could function, and that's kind of the basic stairs we have. I'm going to switch off the section box. I'm going to come outside and I'm going to draw another type of stairs. So I'm going to go architecture, stair, stair by sketch. Remember, never stair by component. And I'm going to start by drawing a run again. And this time I'm going to stop halfway. And then I'm going to restart the stairs over here. And let's make it just with a little bit of an angle. Actually, let's leave it the angle for the moment. Like that. You can see it's put a landing in here. If I accept that, now it's created a stairs with a landing. We can continue to do that. If I do another stairs here, this is just for demonstration, stair by sketch. If I do a stairs halfway up and then I decide, well, I'm going to choose, let's do it back on itself, like that. You can see it starts to join things up together. So now I've made a dogleg stairs, or it's called a dogleg stairs, a stairs that comes back on itself, which is a normal type of stairs in a multi-story building, office building or whatever. Does everyone want to give that a go? So we've got these two basic stairs here. Okay, so now I want to get into how do we modify them? How do we give them a shape that's different from this standard shape? So for this one here, let's modify this one to start with. So I'm going to select the stairs we drew here, this dogleg stairs, and I can edit the sketch. So now we've got the shape of the stairs in here. And let's say I wanted to add a balcony or something out here. Let's say you're making a stairs that's overlooking a valley or something, and you want to make a viewing platform just as part of the stairs. We can do that just by changing the shape of the landing here. So I'm going to use this one again, which is start end radius arc. And I'm going to draw the start point, the end point, and let's just draw it out like that. And always remember to delete the previous line, so that the line of the boundary of the stairs is continuous. If I'm happy with that, I can just press accept, and you can see the stairs over here suddenly has a curved landing to it. Okay, so let's just continue the logic of that for the moment. Let's say we want to make this some kind of fantastic stairs into I don't know, a palace or something. I can select it, edit the sketch, and I'm going to actually take the stairs and I'm going to make sure that it spreads. Let's say we'll take it out, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's do it like, now let's do it like that. Take it out this way, and I'm not going to be too careful about this, but you can take it out this way. And if I just do that and accept it, the stairs is shaped like this. So then we can continue playing with this. So I'm going to select it again, edit the sketch, and let's make the risers curved as well. So it puts in these straight risers by default, but if you want to change the risers or add anything to it, you can just press the riser button here, and then I can go and draw some curved risers at the bottom of the stairs like this, and let's say this one is like that, and this one, we can use the existing steps as kind of a guideline as to where we want them to go. And of course you can be very exact about measuring these and so on, but at the moment I'm just not doing that because I don't really care. So then we always go back and delete the risers we're replacing. You can see the sketch over here. So then we have a stairs that looks like that. So you can really start to play with the shape of the stairs just by using those simple modify tools. You can also draw the stairs using those tools. So if I was making a stair from scratch, and let's say it's usually the best way to do it is to start with a in this way here. Where's the stairs? Stairs, stair by sketch. If you start with a run, which is where the steps are, and then afterwards you can modify the boundary, and then you can modify the risers. So you can always make a run, let's say like that. We could take it and let's make a curve on the inside, radius of 1,000. and let's offset it. Oh, no, not that one. Undo. Let's do that again. Let's offset that by 1000. And then just make sure that it all joins up together. Let's see if this works. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but let's try it out. There we go. So now we've got a more kind of flexible stairs. So you can see you can really start to play with the geometry of the stairs using the sketch tool. You can play with the geometry of the boundary, which is where the handrails go, and you can also play with the geometry of the steps themselves to give you those different type of stairs. Okay, let's just do one more and then I'll give you a chance to play with it a bit. Stairs, stair by sketch, run. Now somebody asked me about spiral stairs. So it's really when you get to this point here, run, instead of choosing a straight line stairs, you choose a curve. And it's as simple as that. So if I go in here, let's do that again. And I always kind of screw this up because I can never remember exactly the detail of how it works. But let's see if it goes like that. Let me accept it. Go into 3D view. You got a spiral stairs there, like that. So we want to play with that a little bit. How much time we got? Loads of time. So if everybody wants to give it a go, playing with the boundary, playing with the riser, and then maybe trying to make a spiral stairs. And I'll get a cup of coffee. Okay, so far we've just been dealing with the geometry of the stairs and really just getting some shapes out of it. But and also it's been just making these what are called monolithic stairs. So monolithic stairs is a stairs that's cast in one piece. So a concrete stairs or something is a monolithic stairs. If I select one of the stairs, if I select this stairs here, monolithic stairs, and I come up to the properties at the top here, I can change it to what's called a stringer stairs. And you can see that now Revit has modified the stair type, so it looks like it's made from timber or something. If I select it and go around it, you can see that actually it's kind of boxed out as if it's been formed with two stringers on each side, a timber riser, which is this element here, and then a tread on top, which has got a kind of a what's called a nosing, where it goes beyond the edge of the steps. I can then continue to play with that. So I can select this stairs, come out to edit type. The first thing we have here is the calculation rules. So the top of the line here, once we're editing the stairs, calculation rules. If I press edit here, this gives us the calculation rules that are set to the Danish building regulations at the moment. So this calculation rule here, twice the rise plus 1 multiplied by the depth is equal to 630. That gives us a standard Danish calculation for steps in public spaces. If you're in a private house, the rules are much, much less hardcore. So you could change those rules. You could change by selecting use stair calculator. You could actually change how the stairs is being calculated to make the stairs steeper than is allowed in public buildings. And this is different for every country. In the UK and Ireland, the stairs are very, very low in private houses because they have to be made for people that are ambulant disabled, people who have problems with sight, elderly people that have to stop halfway up the stairs. They're very, very low. In Northern Europe, the rules are much, much more relaxed. They don't have those specific rules regarding lifetime housing and ambulant disabled, so you can get away with steeper stairs. And if you go to somewhere like the Netherlands, if you go to Amsterdam, the stairs they have in the new houses there, they're like ladders. They're effectively like ladders. They're so steep. They're just like that. So the stairs doesn't take up so much of the floor plan of the house, and so it's easier to actually design the house. Whereas in the UK and Ireland, the stairs takes up a large proportion of the floor area of the house now, much more than it did even 10 years ago. But anyway, so you can modify that in the stair calculator here. I'm not going to talk about that so much in here because it's not really Revit, it's more architecture. You can also modify the tread depth. So the tread depth is the actual step that you're going to be stepping on. So everybody understands what I'm talking about. The step itself, we can modify that here. We could make it longer. We could make it 300. We can make the maximum rise. We could turn that up to 150 so that it's actually a low public stairs. We have other options here, which I'm not going to go into right now. But we can change the tread material here. So I'm going to change the tread material. At the moment, it's just this grey standard material that Revit has. But let's change it into some kind of wood. Let's make it oak. So I got oak down here, the library. Move that up. Use render appearance. Apply. Okay. The stringer material, we could turn it into whatever we want. Let's just make it standard timber. Okay. And if I just apply that, it's telling us that the stairs doesn't comply with the type completely. But anyway, it's changed. You can see it's changed the materials in terms of the standard color in here. Realistic view. We can do some other things with it. I can go back and select it again. Edit the type. And this time around, I don't want to have risers in here. So I want to have open stairs. I want to be able to see through the stairs. So I can actually come into riser type and I can switch that off. I can press none. If I apply that, you can see that it's suddenly become an open riser stairs. I can play with the stringers in that I'm going to change them from outside stringers to middle. I'm going to put two stringers in the middle, and stringers are these elements here that actually hold up the steps. These are called stringers. So I'm going to make two middle stringers, and I'm going to switch off the outside stringers. Like that. If I apply that, see suddenly the stairs are starting to look a little bit more high tech. Let's change the stringer to steel. So I change that from. Let's just change it to metal. What have we got in here? Let's just leave it at aluminium for the moment. You wouldn't make an aluminium stairs, but I'm just looking for the visuals. So you can continue to play with all those elements until you get something that kind of looks like what you want it to be. And once you've done that, you've created a new type of stairs. So this one is called Stair Stringer 250 going 180mm riser. I've modified it since then. So we could go now and select this stairs here and change this to the same type of stairs. So once you set up a stair type once, you can continue it and use it in all your stair types afterwards. Okay?